Hi, welcome to another edition of Coastal Conversations with Carla. Today I'm super excited because with us we have Susie Weiss, who has founded her own company here in New Smyrna Beach. But even though NSB is in the name of her company, don't be confused. She can go anywhere there is a vacation rental.
Yes, ma'am.
Or your own personal home. The name of her company is NSB Condo Outfitters.
Kitchen Outfitters.
Kitchen Outfitters. Yeah. Oh gosh, I've already made a mistake. Kitchen Outfitters, and it's going to be obvious why it's named that as we go through. But I just want to ask Susie, how did you come to this?
Well, it's sort of one of those mothers. What's that phrase? Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yes.
Or the rest is history, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Our families, our two children and their kids and their husbands, we would go to Seaside up in the Panhandle for the week of Thanksgiving and rent a home. We did it for 25 years, and then when we moved to New Smyrna from the Orlando area, I said in 2020, hey, why don't you guys come to New Smyrna Beach? Because
sure.
We didn't have to drive to up north.
Seaside.
Right. So they rented condos. The first year, they rented in the same condo building, and the one that Samantha rented was like a gourmet cook's dream. I mean, it had everything you could think of. The one that Stacy had, it had nothing. Then they came again in 2021, and they rented, it was a two-story house, but the units could be rented separately. Mm-hmm. And so neither unit had anything. And they were calling me every day, Mom, can you bring us a sheet pan? Can you bring us a cutting board? Can you bring a blender? I mean, who doesn't have a blender?
For Thanksgiving, you got to have some equipment.
And you got to have them to make pina coladas and margaritas.
Absolutely.
So, and then about the same time that this happened, we bought this home, and my husband's an architect, and so he designed this new kitchen. We gutted it, we knocked this wall out.
Which is part of the reason why we're standing here in this kitchen, because it is stunning.
Thank you. I'll pass it on to the designer. My son-in-law was going to cook one of the nights of the week of Thanksgiving, and I had made up something similar to this for my kitchen, the kitchen contents locator, and I gave it to him. I said, so here you go, Liam, if you can't find
Did you get the name of that? Kitchen Contents Locator. Who doesn't need that?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So he goes, Susie, this could be a business for you. So, of course, this was like the third week in November, and I started thinking about it. I said, maybe it could be a business for me. So I spoke to someone else that's in the property management business, and she said, I think it's a great idea. Go for it. So I spent the rest of November, January, February, and part of March creating the tools that I use, and I officially launched it on March 15th, and now we are almost September 15th. Mm-hmm. I've done my due diligence, and I really think I'm onto something here. I don't think there's anybody else doing it. At least I've Googled it, tried to find it, and haven't found anything. And I've been warmly welcomed by the real estate community in Volusia County. I joined the NSB Board of Realtors. I met Carla, I met a lot of nice people, and I'm really thankful that you said you come over today and do this.
Absolutely. So this is how I understand it. And she's going to tell you a lot more about it, but this is how I understand it. You get this, you buy a property that you want to rent out on Airbnb or through some condo management company or whatever, and you don't even have to come into town. Some people just buy them sight unseen. But then you want to create a business model for yourself. You want people to use your condo so that you make that income. But what the comments that you keep getting on, your review site are, it didn't have this, it didn't have that. The dishes were mismatched. There was not enough stemware.
There's no blender.
There's no blender. There's no can opener. There's no whatever. Yeah. And you don't know that because you bought something that you thought was furnished, right? But furnished is a loose term in the industry, so it may not be furnished the way you would want it furnished. Right. And so in order to generate business and have people repeat their stays with you and spread the word on what a great rental you've got to outfit your condo, especially the kitchen, with tools that they need, and you got to make it look nice so that they want to keep coming back.
Well, I think you pretty much
so that's where Susie comes in.
Right. And one of the property management company that I first talked to said that the common objection is when they get a review, it says, oh, the condo was great, the beds were soft, the view was great, but the kitchen was really not very good. And to me, the three best things that a unit should offer is a great view, a really comfortable bed, and a well-outfitted kitchen. Because not everybody can afford to come for a week, or those, people, snowbirds that, rent a unit for 3-4 months. They're not going to go out for dinner every night.
Right.
And if it's a holiday week, you're making a turkey or you're baking pies or whatever, and you don't have anything. And the other thing that used to really drive me crazy about units that we've rented is that, like, in this drawer there'd be 2 or 3 tools, and then over there'd be some more over there. And I realized that this is a function of the people that used it as a guest, and then the cleaning staff putting the stuff back. But I think what I've created here can help that along a little bit better. It's not foolproof, but it goes a long way to make it more efficient for every user that comes. And I realized too that this is not going to be for everybody. I'm coming off of a 33-year career as a wedding planner, and I found when I started the company 33 years ago that people are a little bit lazy when it comes to planning their wedding, but they also want
grand.
They want grand, and they want a part of it. They want to be a part of it too. So what I did was make their job easier to make their decisions. And so
what she's done here.
And what Carla alluded to earlier was that a lot of times people, they don't even come here. They buy it sight unseen. And why spend airline ticket time and all that to come down here and do all this when you can call me and I can do it? So the first tool that I put together, and this was definitely a labor of love, I divided the kitchen up into basically 10 different categories.
Right.
So first off, it starts out with guidelines. It gives people suggestions on how to shop for these things and things that I've used in my own personal cooking. I've been married for 57 years, so I've been cooking a lot. Things that do work and things that don't work. And then there's bakeware, cookware, countertop electrics, glassware, flatware, kitchen linens, kitchen gadgets, tableware, and miscellaneous. So if something doesn't fit into any of those, it goes into miscellaneous. So what I've done is, and in all honesty, most of the items do come from Amazon, because I think we all know that you can't beat it. I have created a master list, so I'll have to go through and check the stuff off. So there's
You know what I think is also good about that is, like, if something does walk away or get broken or whatever, you know exactly where to get it to replace it, and it is the exact same item.
Right,
so
exactly.
there's no hunting and...
We bought it before.
Right.
They really loved it, and as long as it hadn't been discontinued. So let's take that hypothetical condo that Carla referred to a minute ago. This person that bought it decides that she wants this to be first class, he or she. So she's going to say, let's get rid of everything. So what we do is we ask that them or someone as a representative goes into the kitchen, takes out all the old stuff, cleans the cabinets and disinfects them now, particularly with all the COVID stuff going on, and discards them all. Or if that person says, I've been down to Florida, there are a few things I would like to keep, and there's a lot I'd like to get rid of. So we ask that you take the stuff that you don't want out and you put the stuff you want to keep close by so that we can integrate it into the new stuff.
Yeah.
So then the client receives this giant catalog of items, and with each category there's guidelines on how to shop, and then there's also a spreadsheet that shows each item and a range of cost. And just as a point of interest here, if you bought everything that was in here, it's only $3,400. So if you're buying $1 million condo on the beach to rent for investment, what's another $3,400?
Right.
Plus
Absolutely.
the fees to pay me to do this, but in the big picture, it's not very much. So then they decide what they want. I loan this to them. They make their decisions. I order them. If there's some items that, of course, there's no shipping because I have Prime with Amazon, but I also have something called Reserve with Williams Sonoma. So if they want to do some upgrades, no shipping for that either. All the stuff gets shipped to the unit, right? It gets shipped to the unit or the home. I open it all. I make sure everything is there, that nothing is broken, and then I begin the staging process, integrating with the old things if there are, or if not, just start from scratch. And it could mean more than one trip because everything may not come in at the same time because we're talking about hundreds of items here. So, and then
we know our delivery person from Amazon quite well.
Yeah, I know. There's one that puts stuff by the garage door, but most of the time they bring it to the door.
Yeah.
Then that's the first step. Then after I do all the staging, then you have to know where everything is.
Right.
So this is where the kitchen contents locator comes in handy. So the first part of it is basically another spreadsheet that said, okay, so this is the base cabinet closest to the pantry. These are all the things that are in it. And then, for example, and there's going to be a picture of that cabinet or that drawer. So that happens
and that
to be
drawer's over there.
That's
yeah.
that one over there. It may not look quite as neat as this one did when I took it, but I did straighten them up before this. And then,
I love the color.
well, it is the beach. What
Right,
can I say?
right.
And then the locator part is, then that's divided into all the categories. So if you're looking for cookie sheets, you look under bakeware and it tells you where it's located. So in this case, they're right here.
Right.
And this actually is my kitchen. So
So it's awesome because then when your cleaning person comes in and they're cleaning and they're putting things back, they know exactly where to put them. So, and they know if something's missing. So then that item can get reordered.
And that prevents that thing about, that there's, 2 spatulas over here and a wine opener over there, instead of them all being together.
Right.
Because I remember renting some of those houses up in Seaside. That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
And of course, because we all live in different places, there was one family that got there first. So that one did an inventory of the kitchen and said, okay, Mom, you need to bring this, or Stacey, you need to bring that. Because you can't pack all that stuff,
Yeah.
So, like I said, I think I'm on to something here, and I'm really excited to try to get this thing rolling here
Absolutely.
in New Smyrna Beach. So I was and if it's okay, I would like to show you some examples of stuff that I like to refer and the reason why. So I'm going to start over here. So this drawer has what I refer to as kitchen linens, and you'll see there's 3 different categories of them. First of all, these are, and I hope it's okay to plug a particular brand, but these are made by KitchenAid, and they come in, I think, 12 or 15 different, like white with stripes, and you can bleach them, which is really a plus. Then these are bar cloths, and that's because people use them in bars, but the nice thing about these is your guests that are renting can use these to wipe their hands on instead of your nice dish towels. And then if the unit, and you care about your unit that you own, has any sort of stone countertop, the best way to clean them is just with a soapy sponge and microfiber cloth. So that's why I have 3 different things in there. Another thing that I think is really important to have, I mean, these are not cheap. They're about 25 bucks a piece, but they save your cookie sheets. They're called Silpats. It's a French line of gadget, and you just lay this on the cookie sheet. No parchment necessary, no oil or grease or anything, and you just wash them in hot water, and your cookie sheets can be used again without probably ever having to wash them again.
Nice.
So this is something that, I mean, I learned about these several years ago, but not everybody wants to spend that kind of money for something like that, but I think it's worth it in the end, because then you have to replace all your cookie sheets. Then let's talk about cookware. Everybody loves this because it's nonstick. However, not everybody's going to be very cautious and reach over here and grab this rubber spatula and use it. They're probably going to grab this one that's metal, and then you know what happens after that.
Right.
So it's better
Scratches.
it's better to go ahead and invest. I won't pull that one out, but to invest in a really good set of stainless steel, because maybe after 3 or 4 rentals, you can get your cleaning staff to use some barkeeper's friend and just scrub on it. And I would spend a few bucks on that, because if you don't, the handles are going to fall off, and then you might have some lawsuits on your hands and that sort of thing. It's better in the long run, pay me now, pay me later.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
And then over here are 2, now, obviously this was a custom kitchen, but one thing that I learned before we got to the point of putting all these fancy things in, I mean, we have quite a few fancy things, but rather than having those inserts that were $300 or $400 or $500, you can get these for like 25, and they're made out of bamboo, and they're expandable. So, I mean, this is a big drawer, and it fits them, and you can take them out and you can wash them. Mm-hmm. So I think this is a real plus for any rental kitchen. And again, all these little things are all right together. They're not spread out all over the whole kitchen. And I just want to put, this is one of my favorite tools of all, so I'm just going to put, this is called the thing that you take the corn cob kernels off. You just put this on a plate, you put the corn cob in it, pull it through and the kernels are coming.
Shut up.
Rather
I need
than
that.
taking a knife and doing all of this.
Yeah.
$5.
Oh my gosh.
I've given them to everybody that I know. So it's one of my favorite tools of all. And then this guy, before we bought this house, we rented a house, and while it had a big kitchen, it was a weird kitchen. So we needed some extra space, and we found this at the Container Store. They no longer carry it, but you can order it directly from the manufacturer. It's $134, and it folds up, and I won't do that because I'm terribly unmechanical. I can show you a photograph of it. But it looks like butcher block, and you can wipe it off, and then it has the nice 3 little shelves. If you want to keep it for yourself and put it in the owner's closet and not let your guests use it, that's fine. But if not, you can put it on the list. It's great to roll out onto the patio if you're doing a little cocktail hour out there, or if you're having a party in the commons building of the unit itself, you can take it down there and set it up. We've used it for parties and stuff because it rolls around too. It's really nice. So those are some of the things that, and the wine glasses, that's another thing that's sort of my pet peeve. Make sure you have a lot of them. They don't have to be good. I mean, these are my good wine glasses. Those would not be in a rental unit. But this is what I call my everyday wine glass right here. So,
yeah.
And be sure to have a lot of bar stuff, like martini shaker and the little spoon and bottle openers, and you see all those things are here. I mean, I cannot tell you the number of times by Wednesday we never found it, so we went to the store and bought one, and then when we're checking out on Saturday we finally found it. So they probably end up with 12 corkscrews at that unit. So what I basically tried to do is, it's not for me to want to spend the client's entire budget on a kitchen, but it is an important part of the whole rental experience.
Absolutely.
At least it is to me.
So I think you can see why I'm super impressed with this service. I think this is something that everyone can benefit from. And actually, my husband and I are getting ready to remodel our kitchen, and I keep threatening to hire Susie to come straighten me out.
You know where I am.
And I do know where she is. So if you like what you've seen here, we're going to put Susie's contact information here on the screen. And as always, please like, share, and subscribe. And have a great day.
Thank you.